Bitcoin has officially reached over $125,000 per coin, and recently we've seen a bit of a correction take place. We're down around 20 to 30% from all-time record highs, and this isn't bad news because this is actually presenting a huge buying opportunity for people who are bullish on Bitcoin long-term. We've seen El Salvador buy over 1,000 BTC, worth around $100 million. MicroStrategy bought another 8,178 Bitcoin, worth over $800 million. And so now is the best opportunity to be adding to your long-term positions for Bitcoin, and this is why I've been looking at some of the stocks that are focused on Bitcoin. Recently, I scooped up a new stock called Matador Technologies, symbol MATA. It's currently trading around 19.5 cents per share, and this is a stock that is a Bitcoin ecosystem company. It's focused on holding Bitcoin as its primary treasury asset, much like MicroStrategy, but it's doing a lot more. It's like taking this to an entire new level because it's building products to enhance the Bitcoin network as well. And the cool thing about it is that their strategy combines strategic Bitcoin accumulation, just like building up their Bitcoin reserve, but it also combines Bitcoin native product development and participation in digital asset infrastructure, which is going to drive long-term shareholder value without dilution. And this is something that is so important. This is why they brand themselves as the Bitcoin ecosystem company. They recently announced a pretty big deal, and this was that they announced that they were taking out a $10.5 million draw under their $100 million convertible note facility. This is a huge deal because it allows them to buy more Bitcoin, add to their treasury, and this is something that they just announced a few days ago. If you look at some of the details of it, it says they announced a successful closing of its previously disclosed $100 million secured convertible note facility with ATW Partners and the completion of its first drawdown under the facility to acquire 92 additional Bitcoin for around $9.5 million. It says this Bitcoin was purchased through Netcoins at an average price of $102,000 per coin, and this is inclusive of fees and expenses. So it says BitGo is going to secure all the Bitcoin holdings in qualified custody through their regulated entity. But ultimately, this is something that is really exciting to see. We've seen this bit of a pullback in the market, and these major companies are adding to their Bitcoin position. So Matador has this $100 million convertible note facility that they can use, and they've taken out $10 million to buy some Bitcoin to add to their position. In addition to this, this is something that is going to be dedicated exclusively to Bitcoin purchases as Matador's treasury strategy moving forward. So this $100 million, they've taken out $10.5 million, they've used $10.5 million to buy Bitcoin, and they're going to continue to draw from this convertible note facility to buy more and more Bitcoin. In addition to this, if we look at some of their other developments, we can see that they also announced that they are accelerating their Bitcoin accumulation, what their strategy is, and where they currently stand in terms of capital positioning. So ultimately in this, they talk about how with this initiative that the company ultimately aims to accumulate 1,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2026. So 1,000 Bitcoin over the next year to 14 months. And they're planning to expand this to 6,000 Bitcoin by 2027. Ultimately, they also talk about their longer term ambition of holding around 1% of the total Bitcoin supply and ranking among one of the top 20 corporate Bitcoin holders. So with this plan, they have added recently, another 92 Bitcoin. They now have, quite a bit of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and they're just going to continue to add more and more over time. So if we look at this report, they talk about how right now, with their 15 purchase transactions, it totals around 175 Bitcoin total. That is where they currently are. And they've done this in less than 1 year. So they talk about it as a qualifying transaction. So their qualifying transaction was the first time they bought Bitcoin. That happened on December 10th, 2024. And since then, they have done an additional 15 purchases. So they've just been consistently buying like about once a month, maybe twice in some months, and this is something that you like to see for a company like this. In addition to this, a few other things is that, like I said, they're not just a company that is going to buy Bitcoin long term. They're not just a treasury, like a Bitcoin treasury company, but also they have a few other long-term objectives. So if we look at their website, you can see they talk about three main goals, what they do. It says gold, launching Matador Gold, a combination of physical gold and the Bitcoin blockchain. Product Launchpad, launching new projects and companies to push the envelope of the Bitcoin ecosystem. And 3, Bitcoin ecosystem, partnering with other leading Bitcoin ecosystem companies. And so ultimately, if you look at what they're doing, their whole goal is like to be a Bitcoin ecosystem company. They're trying to bridge traditional finance with the Bitcoin ecosystem while also adding to their treasury and continuing to buy more. So if you're bullish on Bitcoin and like you like what MicroStrategy is doing, Matador Technologies ultimately takes this to the next level because they're not just buying Bitcoin. Their ultimate goal long term is to do a lot more with native product development on the Bitcoin blockchain, like participation in digital asset infrastructure. They're trying to drive long-term shareholder growth outside of just accumulating Bitcoin. So this is a stock that I am extremely bullish on long term. They are like shaping the future of financial infrastructure on the Bitcoin blockchain. And with where we currently are in the market, Bitcoin having retraced a little bit, I think it presents a huge opportunity to get into Matador Technologies at a discounted price. If you look at it over the last month, it's down, 25 to 40%, depending on when you would have bought it. And like, this is very similar to what's happened with all the top altcoins out there, what's happened with Bitcoin. And so now that things have taken a bit of a hit, retraced, it really presents a huge opportunity long term. So ultimately, keep an eye out on Matador Technologies. Right now, their market cap is around $21 million. And if you're comparing that to what is in their Bitcoin treasury and how they already have that $100 million convertible note facility, this project and this company seems really undervalued in my opinion.